So, hello and welcome to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tacitcs podcast. And today we're going to talk about... Sorry if this was really loud now. Today we're actually going to discuss a pretty difficult article on attention getting, especially on social media. Or this is meant in general, but there are just a lot of things that you can include into your social media strategy if you have one. I do not really have one yet, to be honest. But this article is from the businessinsider.com website, and it is called 7 Scientifically Proven Ways to Capture Someone's Attention. And it is written by Richard Faloni on March the 18th of 2015 and was published at 10:46 a.m. And let's actually see, and I hope, by the way, this is the right article, because I was searching articles when I was in the train just half an hour ago, something. But let's see what they talk to us, or what they write to us. Whether it's pitching your startup to an investor or trying to impress your boss, you likely spend much of your time or life viving. It's V-Y-I-N-G. So V-Y-I-N-G for someone's attention. The good news is that there is plenty of research on how the human brain perceives information and directs its focus. Author and investor Ben Parr went through this research and conducted interviews with experts in the field to isolate 7 of what he calls captivation triggers, which he explores in his book Captivology. It's CAPTIVOLOGY, the science of capturing people's attention. That might be actually a book I'm going to read, if I need one. We've summarized the 7 triggers you can use to grab someone's attention. And the first one, as they say, is automaticity. Activate the sentences. Not sentences, the senses. We pay attention subconsciously and automatically to certain signs, sounds, and colors and other sensory stimuli based on the contrast they have with their surroundings and the association we have with them, Parr says. And especially because I'm actually a 17-year-old graphic design student from Austria, I have a lot to contribute to you. Oh my god. Oh, I do not have much battery, but now it's plugged everything in. I can just really write a roman or a novel out of what colors can make to you. And for example, let's see, sign. I hope I can find it like this. No. Maybe it's sign attention. So normally in my country it's black and yellow. And also the biohazard or toxic hazard signs are black and yellow. And every other, like, let's see, there's this warning hand if something is toxic or something, maybe something like this, is also black and yellow. And let's see what animal is black and yellow. Maybe a bee or something, because bees are dangerous, and the nature wanted to tell us that bees are dangerous. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of people use black and yellow in terms of a signal color, so as me too, because in terms of Instagram, where your post may be landing on a search feed, which is this little icon, like this search thing, you know, then all the pictures get very, very small. And then you really want to catch somebody's attention by just, making something that catches your eye. And these colors, like black and yellow, or really bright reds or bright magentas or yellows, not yellows, but greens and also blues, which normally look awful, but black and yellow looks very good when used correctly, I would say. But yeah, let's see what they say. For example, the color of a corporate logo is partially responsible for how a consumer perceives the brand. Red can evoke intensity and aggression. Aggression actually is mixed when, or comes up if you mix red with black. That looks very aggressive and very just masculine, and but in some kind of negative way. Blue can evoke comfort and clarity. That's why a lot of banks, is it called banks, have the color blue, because it's really trustable. So you see, if you see this, I hope you see this, maybe you see this. The UNICEF logo on the right here is also blue, because they really want us or me to trust them, and that's why they've chosen such a color. It's just because of water is some kind of blue, or like seas and lakes and everything, and that's something we need to live, to exist, and so on. I guess it's just a guess from me. I've learned it, but I've already forgotten it. Yellow can evoke energy and freshness, and I would say in general also dangerousness. Yeah, and your body temperature can determine the way you judge someone. In a 2008 study, researchers Lawrence Williams and John Abark found that participants who held up a cup of coffee were more likely to judge a stranger as good-natured and generous than those who held an iced coffee. They also found that holding a warm object made someone more likely to be generous themselves. So if you're going to meet someone for the first time, try meeting over a hot coffee. If you're going to negotiate a deal, make sure yours is iced. As far as sound, remember that a person's name is that person, the sweetest and most important sound in any language, as Dale Carnegie wrote in How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's really amazing that they just quoted one of the best books I've ever read, to be honest. And it's something that really comes to my mind in school, because a lot of the teachers just give a fuck about what the students' names are, and this automatically makes them, makes them more unlikely or unlikeable than if they just tried and made the effort to know everybody's names. And for me, and I know that, for example, if you're writing even cold emails, you should always try to address it to the correct person, or to the person you want to address, because the three most important things, or the most attention giving things, are actually names. So your own name, if you read your own name, this will definitely catch your attention. Then the word sex, because of something, I don't know. And there was a third one. I think it was kind of free, like something, but I don't really know anymore. Maybe I'll look it up next, or sometime later, if we have the time to do this. Framing. Contextualize your argument to appeal to your audience. And this was one of the points I found really, really hard to understand, but I'll try again. We process information in a way that uses our existing frames of reference. Dietram Scheufele, I think he is called, or Schäufele, I don't know, of the University of Wisconsin Medicine tells Parr in his book. So we process information in a way that uses our existing frames of references, which basically means, I think, we process information by the experience we've made before making this experience of processing the information, the experiences that led to process these informations. Parr explains, our past experiences, biological wiring, cultural expectation, interests, Opinions and current moods influence our frames of reference. They are the context in which we make our choices or react the way we do, because no choice or reaction is made in a vacuum. A famous illustration of framing is the 1974 study by Elizabeth Loftus and John Palmer of the University of Washington that asked groups of participants to watch a video of simulated car crash and guess how fast the cars were going. The video shown to each group remained the same, but the verb used in the question differed as in about how fast were the cars going, when they collided with, bumped, smashed, contacted each other. The group that heard smashed gave the car the highest estimated speed, and when each group was asked a week later if the video they had seen contained any broken glass, it did not. They smashed group had much higher percentage of remembering broken glass. That's very, very interesting. So I would say this is a good information that you should really be trying to understand your targeting audience or your target audience, because these people might as well just react to some kinds of things equally, and this could be very good information for you to understand them and to make products or give value. Don't want to say products, but because products often lead to people only thinking about just selling something to someone, which I don't really want to tell you, because I think value is the key to everything. Not everything, but for business. And don't know what I want to say. So if you know your target group, you know what they need, and you can provide them the biggest and the best value they can get. Disruption break expectations. We pay attention to the things that violate our expectations of the world. This is something that really reminded me on something, but I can only give you some kind of the context. And I was clearly thinking about when you're just browsing through YouTube or, I don't know, Instagram maybe, and you come across a picture where the title is like, eating a lot of meat is very, very healthy and can benefit you in terms of cancer, or some stupid shit, I guess, or in my opinion, it tells that. And I'm then really like, this violates my expectations and my experiences and in general some kind of me. And I think, and we are going to see, even though I've read this part already, but I don't know what it was about, if it is true what I assume it is. Or yes. According to expectations violation theory, a positive violation of our expectations causes us to perceive something as much more favorable than it otherwise would be. And this now reminds me on creating something you've believed and you do every time, and there's this article you found, or this video you found, or this post on Instagram you found just shows you that you're totally right in what you're doing. And I believe that they mean this. As much more favorable than it otherwise would be, and a negative violation has the inverse effect. In a Harvard Business Review post, Power recommends that you ask an unexpected question, beat a tough deadline, or invite someone for a walk instead of coffee to gain favor with your boss, colleague, or client. So you should ask an unexpected question, but don't be silly or ask some dumb shit, I would say. Beat a tough deadline. I don't know what they mean by it. If there is anything you know what I don't know, please write me a DM on the social media platform you would prefer, which are all down in the description or in the podcast information box, some sort of, hopefully, and or comment on the video. It would be very, very nice, and it will contribute every other person this gets or who gets to this video or and channel. Thank you. Or invite someone for a walk instead of a coffee. So doing something just unexpected, but something positively unexpected. Positive unexpected, because as we know by now, some negative valuation just means more negativity, which is not good for your business, I assume. And then here comes parts that I do not know anything about, because I read up to this one. So let's see. Reward, create desire. Parr says that in his research he learned that according to Dr. Kent Berridge of the University of Michigan, dopamine is more closely aligned. Sorry, I was lying. I've read this as well. I'm sorry. Is more closely aligned with the creation of desire rather than pleasure, as it is commonly understood. Berridge conducted a study in which he found that lab mice who were stripped of dopamine were still able to feel pleasure when they were giving sugar water, but lost the motivation to achieve rewards, which caused many of them to die, which is a pretty great plot, I guess. That means that to fully grab someone's attention, you should offer the possibility of both extrinsic and intrinsic rewards. Parr recommends, for example, that managers can retain the most talented employees by balancing intrinsic rewards, a tangible means of satisfaction, like bonuses with intrinsic rewards, opportunities to better oneself, like new challenges. And I think that's a quite good advice to, give something that they immediately want and that satisfies. Today's not the best speaking day. Every day is a good day. Remember that. Some people have to work literally 7 fucking miles to get clean water, and we often just debate about, or just are pissed because we have 7 likes instead of 8 likes on our latest post, which is total bullshit. So you get a quick satisfaction in terms of a bonus, and then you get a long-term satisfaction in terms of a challenge, which hopefully is a long-term satisfaction, or just something they can put their energy into. Because I think that everybody likes a challenge. Close. Reputation up, but in terms of Instagram marketing or general social media marketing, in general marketing, I don't know what I can give you in terms of this. So I hope you can get out something for yourself, and we will head right to the next one. Reputation, establish credibility. We pay deference and huge amounts of attention to reputable sources, Parr says. Robert Cialdini of Arizona State University calls people's natural tendency to accept authority without question directed deference. What does deference mean? I know difference, but no deference. Deference. Polite submission and respect. He addressed her with the deference due to age. Okay, great. This was shown in a 2009 study by Greg Burns of Emory University, which found that the decisions-making parts of participants' brain essentially shut down when they were advised by financial experts, accepting the consoling as fact. That's why it's necessary to find or to first convince someone that they should be listening to you in the first place before they can even consider your argument. It's why many investors are now paying attention to crowdfunding sites like Kickstarter, which offer proof of concept and minimize an investor's perception of risk. I think you should always just try to let people understand that you are actually giving them value. And I hope that I can do this, because I actually really want to give you value, even though I'm just in the building myself. And it's more like a documentation, I hope, even if I would like to just vlog, but there is nothing to vlog in my day, some kinda. But it's just something like growing together. And I learn by reading these articles, and you hopefully learn something as well. And I also build up my English speaking skills, which aren't good today. And for that, I just wanted to say very and really at the same time. Just really. I just wanted to build up my English skills. Yes, and it contributes me very, very well. Yes, mystery, and this is one of the points I really emphasized with, and I really liked, and I really just can a lot about this. Leave things incomplete, and you definitely know these YouTube videos where you see in the thumbnail, so this picture where it shows the video or some kind of trailer of the video now, because it's actually a video, this little thing, because yes, YouTube did it because a lot of clickbaiting was going on YouTube. But nevertheless, you may have seen some either video titles or video thumbnails, as I was saying, that just have some kind of darknet mystery boxes in the hand with a lot of question marks on it, and or do you know what there is, and point, or do you know that we find point in that, which just leaves something open, which there is something incomplete, and we really want to know what's in this fucking box, even though if we aren't that interested in it, because it's a mystery, and we I don't know, maybe all of us want to learn, but I hope we will get an explanation for that in this short paragraph. According to the uncertainty reduction principle, the brain is constantly researching to reduce uncertainty about the target of its focus. That's the explanation. And according to Zeigarnik effect, we have a stronger memory for incomplete tasks and thoughts relative to those that were completed parsers. Do you know when you just have seen something and then you read something and this thing you have seen just makes sense now? And that's something a friend of mine in school told me. It's just learning font. Maybe I can find this through this, because there's actually a university or something. Is it this Sans for Gattaca? It may be this font, because there's actually a font. Yes, I think it is. Yes, it's the right font. This font should give you the opportunity or the possibility to learn things faster. And now I know why this helps you learn things faster, because all these letters are incomplete. They're just, you can see, I'm very sorry for the people on the podcast, but these are just incomplete letters. For example, on the O, there's just one bow on the top and one bow on the bottom. The rest, there is nothing. And every single letter is like this, And that makes great sense now. If you're trying to capture someone's interests, don't give away too much or exhaust the presentation. That's also a thing why you shouldn't just, if you do make questions into your captions on Instagram or Twitter or any social media, you should never, really never, answer your question by yourself. Just write in the post. So just like, do you know what this is? Yeah, you're right, a bike, or something like this. So they have no really intent to answer this question anymore because it was answered already. But yeah, it's why, for example, influencers founder John Levy says that no introductory meeting should last longer than 45 minutes. It's better to leave the conversation having something to talk about and feeling like you need to connect again rather than feeling that the energy died, he says. Great advice, I would say. The next thing, we're actually on 26 minutes already, but we'll make this one. The greatest masters of attention, Parr says, create a sense of community with their audience because humans have an innate desire to be recognized. It's why companies like Google and Salesforce, which offer perks that acknowledge employees as individuals rather than simply cogs in the machine, continue to attract top talent and outperform competitors. And that was the last one. That's also something I talked about in the last episode, which is that you should, if you have an audience, you should really try to implement audience-based or audience-created content into your normal content stream, which then connects you way deeper and way better to your actual audience. And with this sentence, I'm now quite sorry because this audience, or this podcast today was a little bit strange because I was talking, I did not talk that well today, I think, but I'm learning, I'm trying, and I will succeed. And you as well are going to succeed. I know this. Maybe no, I don't know this. You know, there's people who just make fucking not uncertain. Why do I want to say uncertain? But they cannot know this. So I hope you succeed. I really hope this for you, and that's meant by my heart. I hope you succeed in what you love. And for this now, I really have to thank you for listening to the podcast today or watching the video. If there's anything, just write me a comment if you're on YouTube, or write me some DM or something if you are on the podcast, and write me on my social media platforms. And if you haven't subscribed to the podcast and to the YouTube channel yet, you should really. Every day is a day of value. I hope. And for that, I hope you have a great day.